everybody. I'm Kathryn Strachan, and tonight I'm going to be talking to you about achieving a balance between creativity and SEO. So I run CopyHouse. It's a content marketing agency that specializes in fintech and financial services. So we work in really complex, jargon-heavy industries and help them achieve better results with quality content. So why does creativity matter for SEO experts? It's easy to dismiss quality content as not being so important. You need to hit the right keywords. You need to do all these other bits to SEO. So why do you need to spend time writing quality content? I don't know if you've heard, but on October 21st, Google released a new algorithm update called BERT, not the Burt from Sesame Street. And what BERT does is it's a natural language processor. So it can understand what people are searching for and what they mean when they search for certain keywords. So BERT's really complicated. And how it actually works is Google's taken a big, really complex quantum computing software and analyzed hundreds of thousands of content from Wikipedia. And it's created this system that's really cool, it's amazing, called BERT. And BERT can analyze words before and after a masked word to accurately guess what that word is. So it can understand the context surrounding a word. So for example, this example here on the left is from a really excellent talk by Moz, which is another really big SEO tool. And that's the link there. It's really great if you want to know more about what BERT does. But basically this example, if you say a robin is a, and then give it two options, it can accurately guess bird. What it can't do is that it can't do negation. So it wouldn't be able to understand a robin is not a bird or tree. It would still guess bird. So it clearly has its limitations. But basically the key message here is that it can understand users' intent. And then take this understanding to deliver the best results. So one of the examples in this Moz video is before, Google used to, if you typed in, can you use your phone on airplane mode? It would deliver this really ugly chunk of text that was really jargon heavy. It didn't really make any sense to anybody. Now, if you type that same question, it'll just say no. So it knows what you're looking for. So my argument, what I think is going to happen, is as natural language processing becomes more common, SEO rankings will increasingly depend on quality content that answers customer questions and fulfills search intent. So that's my theory. And I think so BERT has some limitations. It's not rolled out across all languages, but this is something that we're going to start seeing a lot more, and something that if you're serious about SEO, you need to get out ahead of. So how do you do that? How do you optimize for BERT? Actually, infamously, you can't optimize for BERT. So the only way to make sure that you're still ranking as natural language processing becomes more common is to really focus on delivering creativity, engaging content that supports users. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through how I do that, because I love writing, and SEO was an add-on that kind of came out of a love for writing and a love of, if I was going to create quality content, I wanted to make sure that my content appeared on page 1, because you can write the best blog in the world or the best website in the world, but if you don't optimize it, it's going to die on page 7. So when I'm writing a web page or long-form content, First step is always to conduct keyword research. So this is actually the keyword research using SEMrush. I just typed in SEO. And as you can see, like, not all of these keywords would be relevant to an article on what is SEO. So actually, the second most common keyword is Park SEO John, which is like a South Korean film actor. So just choosing like the keywords that have the highest search volume, obviously, doesn't support somebody who's searching for what is SEO. So I pulled out some examples here. You also have like Brighton SEO, which is a really common, really famous SEO event in the UK. Not really relevant if you're thinking about what is SEO. And Majestic SEO is an SEO tool, also probably not that relevant. So from this list, I picked SEO, SEO meaning, what is SEO? Now, this raises a pretty interesting question. Do keywords still matter? If you cannot optimize for BERT, why do you still need keywords? Why do our traditional SEO approaches even matter? Well, keywords still obviously have value. First of all, BERT hasn't been rolled out across all platforms. Lots of traditional SEO algorithms still exist. Secondly, keywords tell you a lot about your target audience. What are they looking for? What kind of content do they want or need? What kind of questions do they have? Quite often you're surprised by what comes up in search results, and it's maybe things that you didn't think about before. So then integrating that into your content can make sure that not only is your content optimized for SEO, but it's also focusing on the UX and the user. So after I do some keyword research, I create an outline using long-tail keywords. For those of you who don't know, long-tail keywords tend to be keywords that have more than one word in it. So what is SEO is a great long example of a long-tail keyword because it's kind of like a question and it's a bit, well, longer. So on every article I write or landing page, I create this table that has all the keywords and all the search volumes, and that kind of keeps me on track throughout. And then I use those keywords to create an outline. So you can see here, like the title of my article is going to be SEO 101, what is SEO? So that captures the what is SEO, it captures the SEO keyword, and then underneath that I'm pulling out subheadings targeting those long-tail keywords. And this is going to serve as the structure of my article landing page that I'm then going to use to create content. And when I create content, by the end, unless you have an SEO background, you might not even know that it's optimized, it's done so well. That's kind of the point here, is that if you do SEO really well, you can kind of do it in a way that's subtle, that isn't stuffed with keywords, that, you know, somebody in the industry might realize, like, yeah, this is optimized because, you know, there's a keyword in every header. But an outsider who doesn't have any experience whatsoever is going to simply have a better user experience because the headings tell them what's in each section. They can scan the article, they can scan the landing page, they can find the sections that they want to read, but they won't go, oh, this is definitely optimized. So once I do that outline, I get writing. This is a really big topic. I could probably give a whole other talk on how to actually write content. What I'm going to do instead, because I don't have, oh man, I could talk forever about writing content. So what I'm going to do instead is just give you my 5 tips on how to create engaging content. So engaging content really starts with understanding your audience. Who are you talking to? Creating content that just talks to space isn't going to achieve you any results. You need to understand, who are they? What are their most pressing needs? What are their desires? What do they want to achieve? What are their ambitions? Do they want to spend more time with family? Do they want to make sure that their kids have a nice birthday? Do they want to get the best pair of shoes that they can find? Like, what do they want? And then, you know, that serves as a foundation for so much else. Including a tone of voice. So, you know, if you're speaking to a professional in a big corporation, you're going to obviously talk different than if you're speaking to a customer who really likes health and beauty. It's understanding who that customer is and then understanding how they want to be talked to and how you can connect with them. And then off the back of that, you do thorough research to find a content gap. So you don't just want to spew content that every brand in the whole entire world is talking about. You want to find that gap in the existing content that you can create something new, something exciting, something unique that adds to the conversation rather than just says what everybody else is saying. And then number 4 is especially big in my industry, is dictionary jargon. Nobody wants to hear big complex words or terms or run-on sentences. How most writers or how most accountants or lawyers or these professionals in the industry write creates a disconnect between them and the audience because they're speaking in these big words that make customers go, say what? And then, once you're done with this writing process, you need to edit it. You need to refine it, and then you need to look at the data, the Google Analytics, how are you performing? Or is anybody actually reading your content? If they're not reading it, what can you do to make it better so that it's not just sitting there gathering dust? So now that you've got your nicely written article, you need to go back and review from an SEO perspective. So I go back to that table that I created at the beginning and look at whether I use the keywords I originally selected. If I didn't, why not? Should I have? Keyword variation, sometimes the keyword gets stuck in my head and I use it too much. So then I need to go back and I need to make sure that I incorporate a variation of keywords. Maybe tweak things here or there to get, the perfect composition. Could you naturally integrate more keywords or other variations? So, for example, rather than saying it, maybe use an actual keyword. So there are ways to integrate more keywords. You obviously don't want to do keyword stuffing, but quite often you can find ways. So did you use thing? Did you use it? Did you, not really mention it? Was it just kind of vague? Are there ways to further refine that? And then one thing that you should definitely check is whether your H tags, so your headers, your subheaders, your subheaders, if those all contain keywords. Right, so once you actually get it out there, you can't just leave it. You need to distribute it. Just posting content isn't going to achieve you any results. So you need to support that with a delivery system, whether that's posting it on social media, creating newsletters. By helping people find it, you increase your SEO ranking because SEO is based on popularity and relevance. So the more people who actually read your article, that visit your site, that share it, that show their friends, the better you're going to perform, the better you're going to achieve. So you can't just, one of the biggest mistakes I see is that people think, okay, great, I've written this article, it's optimized. Now I can just leave it and forget about it. No, you need to be sharing it. Share the shit out of it. Okay, so that almost wraps everything up. My 3 key takeaways from this talk. 1, quality creative content is now more important than ever. 2, use keywords as a guide to better understand customer search inquiries. 3, focus on customers and their search intent. What kind of content would make their lives easier, better, hassle-free? Understanding this not only improves your search ranking, but also improves how you connect with your customers, the experience they have when they come to your brand. Basically, it will help you refine your messaging, better connect, create those relationships that really matter with your customers.